Hey everybody, what is going on? Hexlex here. Got another Master Duel video for you. So, it's another Orcust variant. Ever since crafting this playset of Girsu, I've definitely been getting a good amount of mileage out of playing it. I have just been loving this archetype, honestly. I get it. I've seen quite a few people, especially the Discord server, talk about how much they love playing Orcust, and I completely get it now. Super stoked for the follow-up support whenever that comes into Master Duel. But in the meantime, I decided to go back a little bit in time and take some inspiration from TOS format. We're playing Sky Striker Orcust. I didn't actually play TOS format. For those who don't know, I played the TCG. I started way back in 2002. Pharaoh's Servant was the newest pack when I started playing the game. Like, Jinzo had just come out. And I played all the way up till right around Pepe format, the Performapal deck in 2016, I think that was. It was right before Master Rule 4 came out. And then from there, I quit the game, the TCG, and then I didn't pick it back up till Master Duel. So, TOS format, I don't have any personal experience with, but I do think the idea of Sky Striker and Orcust makes a lot of sense. And with Hornet drones recently going from 1 to 3 in Master Duel, this is kind of one of the decks I think that got Hornet drones limited. So the idea here when using Sky Striker as an engine is that if you open with Hornet drones or engage to search Hornet drones, you can activate Hornet drones, get your token, link the token into Kagari, then Kagari effect to add the Hornet drones back. Then you simply activate the Hornet drones again because you still don't have a monster in your main monster zone, and you can special summon another Sky Striker Ace token. From there, you have two monsters with different names. That could be Nightmare Goblin or it could be Nightmare Phoenix, which then go into Nightmare Mermaid, and then bada bing, bada boom, you got yourself a full combo. So, I remember seeing people saying before that like Hornet drones could never come back to 1 for its ability to set up, boards with only 1 card, and other people arguing that, well, it could come back to 3 as long as Nightmare Mermaid and Nightmare Goblin stay banned, but now all of these restrictions have been undone, so I figured it's as good a time as any to see just how good a deck like this is. So I did include a small Kashtira package, which, to be fair, does conflict with the Sky Striker stuff. But, of course, we're not really intending to use these both at the same time. These are both just independently good if you open, like, your Orcust cards, for example. Girsu is also 1-card plays. As we discussed in our Phantom Knight Orcust deck profile a couple of days ago, Girsu, thanks to its token generating effect, can set up stuff by itself. And fun fact, I actually considered splashing a small Phantom Knight engine in this deck. Basically, the idea with that, as I demonstrated in the, again, Orcust Phantom Knight video, is that Girsu is by itself a 1-card combo that can end on 3 negates. You set up the Orcust Crescendo with a Galatea on the field that you've revived with the Symbol Skeleton because you use Galatea in order to make a Rusty Bardish. Rusty Bardish can send Silent Boots to set Fogblade, and then Boots adds to their Fogblade. So there's your 3 negates, 2 Fogblade, and then the Crescendo, of course, right? Excuse me. So, yeah, that is something you can do if you want. It's like 3 main deck slots, 1 extra deck slot, but I went with the Kashtira package instead, which I don't really regret because it's pretty good. You can combine it with any monster, like even a Fualos, right? In order to go into plays. Because again, you just see 2 monsters with different names. Very easy to go into. I think the main weakness of this deck, it's very consistent, and being able to set up an Orcust board. It's just, and I think this is definitely the reason why all this stuff has become unhit, is that in 2025 Yu-Gi-Oh!, this is not really that powerful in the grand scheme of things. The current Tier 1 decks are generating much more powerful things at the same rate of consistency, if not even being more consistent than this, right? So, this deck's power level feels like somewhere in the mid-rogue range, which is still fine, A mid-rogue deck, as I've very often said in my tier list videos, is definitely capable of topping or even winning a tournament with a dedicated and skilled enough pilot, but definitely a far cry from where this deck was back in 2018, I think TOS format was. So, yeah. Let's see. Anything else I have to say about this list? Not really. Why don't we just go ahead and break it down card by card, and then we'll start looking at some of these replays here. So, for this build, we're on 1 Effect Veiler, 3 Maxi, 3 Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring, 1 Orcust Symbol Skeleton. We have 3 Orcust Harp Horror, 3 Gearsu the Orcust Mech Knight, 3 Moldravi Frualos, 2 Orcust Nightmare, 1 Kashtira Fenrir, 2 Kashtira Unicorn, 1 World Legacy World Wand, 1 Nibiru the Primal Being, 1 Foolish Burial. We got 3 Sky Striker Mobilize Engage, 1 Orchestrated Babel, 1 Pressured Planet Wraithsoth, 1 Kashtira Birth, 2 Called by the Grave, 3 Sky Striker Mecha Hornet Drones, 1 Cross-Eye Designator, 2 Infinite Permanents, and finally 1 Orcust Crescendo. And that's going to do it for our main deck. For the extra deck, we're on 1 number 41 Baguska, the terribly tired Tapir, 1 Dingirsu, the Orcust of the Evening Star, 1 Superstar Slayer Typhon, Sky Crisis, 1 Nightmare Mermaid, 1 Sky Striker Ace Kagari, 1 Nightmare Goblin, 1 Nightmare Phoenix, 2 Galatea the Orcust Automaton, 1 IEP Masquerena, 1 Dark the Dark Charmer Gloomy, 1 SP Little Knight, 1 Nightmare Unicorn, 1 Lungirsu the Orcust Orchestrator, and finally 1 Access Code Talker. There's our list. Let's go ahead and check out these duels. Alright, why don't we start off with a going second, very back and forth, 6-turn game against... It's quite the Snake Eye variant. It's 60 cards. It's Rescue Ace and Fire King Snake Eye, all rolled into the same deck. Opponent's taking the first turn here. They're leading with the Wanted Seeker of Sinful Spoils. I'm not going to let that go. I'm not going to Ash Blossom it. When they go to summon Snake Eye Ash, I will Ash Blossom and see what they have to say about that. Mostly feeling out if they have like a call buy or something here before I commit to Fualos. I do also already have my 1-card starter in the form of Hornet Drones in hand, so even if I don't get draws off Fualos, that's fine, I'll still get plays. Fualos is going out now in response to the original Sinful Spoils, and sure enough, our opponent does not have a response. Even if they did, we had a Nibiru anyway, so we're already feeling pretty good about that. They end up going for the Onyx here, and then activating the Fire King Sanctuary. Going for the Island F will pop the Onyx in order to add the Fire King Garunix. Garunix F going to activate from here, special summoning itself, and then popping a Arvada from the deck. So this is something that I talk about a lot when utilizing Nibiru and knowing when to do it. And one of the most important timings of Nibiru is getting it out as close as you can before Negate comes down. So I see this Arvada going to the graveyard, and there's sirens going off in my head. I'm like, okay, I need to activate Nibiru before this Arvada is going to get summoned from the graveyard. So if I see like a Promethean Princess, or even keeping in mind a Hita to bring back my Ash Blossom, although from there we could wait for a Prom Princess, those are the kind of things I'm keeping in mind, right? They're going for Artifact Dogda instead, so this is going to switch up my priorities quite a bit, because my opponent actually does play a Scythe-Lock in this deck, and I really don't want to deal with that. Besides, the token I summon from Nib here will be small enough anyway, so I say, you know what? We're just going to go for it now. Activate Nibiru, and they have Crossout. That's one of their 2 remaining cards. Is Crossout! They're Dogda setting Scythe! We're getting Scythe-Locked! We're getting Scythe-Locked! Now, a lot of people would concede upon seeing Scythe being set, and I really don't blame people for wanting to do that. But I'm always up for the challenge, so even if I think I'm going to get Scythe locked, I'm going to persevere. Also, we're drawing a lot of cards with Fualos, so that'll hopefully probably help. Alright, Promethean Princess coming down. Flambridge F is going to activate. Of course, you don't get draws from that because those come from the graveyard. Same with the Arvada summon here. Wanted's going to give them a draw here. And linking into a Link 4, that's going to be Ambler Whale. before they pass back over to us. Actually, I fire off the Maxi here, which I probably shouldn't have done. I could have figured they were already done anyway, but I got greedy. Leading with the Fenrir here, and I knew they'd probably Promethean Princess that, so we get to use the Call By right off the bat. They're going to chain Imperm on the Fenrir. Thankfully, we played out of that column, but... yeah, the Imperm on the Fenrir is so annoying because I really just wanted to force the Arvada with the Fenrir, but no such luck. They're going to instead Arvada the Girsu. So I have some options here. Of course, first they're going to Ponix and Ambloel Fs. Thankfully, thank God that Promethean Princess is banished. Yeah, Dogdo doesn't really do anything anymore. Scythe is already established. Garunix gets to pop Kieran from the deck here, but I'm going to link off the Fenrir and the Girsu at this point in order to summon the Nightmare Phoenix. So here's what I'm going to do. Of course I'm not popping the Face Down card, I am popping the Fire King Island. That way I can destroy the whole board. They will get the Arvada effect to summon Kieran, and unfortunately I knew they'd also get the Ambloel effect. But looking at my hand and the board state, there was really nothing else to do in this situation. If I leave the board alone, what am I gonna, like, set up an SP? Like, that's the thing. Like, yeah, this is gonna extra deck lock me, but let's be real. I couldn't summon enough from the extra deck to play through all this stuff on board anyway. Not realistically, anyway. I don't know. There is the idea that I could go into, like, instead of going to Nightmare Phoenix, I could go into, like, Goblin instead to save the Phoenix, and then go into Mermaid and try to do Orcust plays, but even just getting over the huge Garunix itself would have been such a hurdle. I felt like this was the right line. It doesn't, like, seem very obvious, but it felt, I don't know, it felt fine to me, because this board state from our opponent isn't threatening. We can use the Hornet Drones tokens to defend ourselves if we need to. Although they did get that pop one, which is a little bit of a misplay on my part. Well, I don't know, actually. I think setting both is fine here. We also have Nib, so if they really pop off on this follow-up turn, I can just Nib them. And I have Girsu for follow-up plays. Now, they didn't combo off. They just went straight for battling here, which is also completely fine with me. Now, we have to play through this Arvada on our turn, but that's not that bad, especially because we have multiple ways to get into combos here. I'm going to lead with the Hornet Drones token into Kagari. Like I mentioned before, during the deck profile portion, we can use the Kagari to add back the Hornet Drones. Here is where they use the Arvada. Cue the Light Yagami Death Note meme, exactly as planned. So that does let them bring back Garunix. And Garunix does get to activate, popping Kieran. This all is unfortunately unavoidable, but we still have the Girsu. We can normal summon Girsu, mill the Orcust Nightmare. I'm going to activate the effect to give us each a token. Now I get to link the Girsu and the token into Dark the Dark Charmer Gloomy. Dark F, I'm going to bring back my opponent's Diabell Star. From here I'm going to use the Harp Horror effect from my graveyard, especially in Symbol Skeleton, right? And then Orcust Nightmare, we'll do World Wand F for the Harp Horror again. Link these two off into Galatea. I'm mostly doing it in this order just to set the counter trap. Although, well, I'll point it out when we get to this part. I just thought of something, but I'll point it out when we get there. Okay, going for Dingirasu. We're going to use the Ding on the big Garunix. Then we're linking into Nightmare Unicorn. Now, this was a huge misplay, what I just did. I targeted the World Legacy token. I clicked on that because in the process of thinking out this combo line, I was starting to run low on time, and I panicked. I really should have hit the Arvada. This should have 100% gotten put back into the deck because of the ladder effect, which I totally was not thinking about. But from there, we're going to go Symbol Skeleton, resummoning the Galatea. And if I had misplayed, what I could have done is I could have linked into Access Code Talker. But that's the thing. I would have only had two. Oh, okay, so here's the thing. I would have only had 2 banishes to pop stuff, right? But I could have popped the defense mode token and the artifact scythe, and my opponent was at 8,000, right? So, or were they at 8,000? Maybe I'd been a little bit lower. Either way, battling over Ponix, I could have OTK'd. But instead, as you can see, I didn't even bother going for access code, because if I would have popped Arvada, it would have just brought back Garunix, and then that wouldn't have been an OTK. So, that was a huge misplay on my part. I just want to point out that I could have won the duel right here. But again, the timer was low. That's my excuse. It's not much of one. I still should have played better, but if nothing else, we are still ending on Little Knight plus the counter trap plus the nib. Plus we do have some inherent follow-up plays in our graveyard. We've got a Hardcore in there. So I'm feeling pretty good, despite the fact that I did miss an OTK. They're going to Bonfire for the Poplar, activating Poplar's effect to special. Not using my Crescendo yet, I'm actually going to use Little Knight on the Poplar when it's summoned. So they'll still get to add the original Sinful Spoils, of course, but now they have to commit their normal summon to even activate it. And then I'll use the Crescendo on the original Sinful Spoils. Now they've used their normal summon and the Sinful Spoils, and they don't have the ability to follow up unless they have some follow-up in their hand. Which I didn't think they would, because they hadn't really used those cards to combo last turn, right? And then they conceded. Oh, yeah, that was scary. That was scary when I missed the OTK, but thankfully we were able to pull it off. So, yeah, what to start that game was, again, not only a going second duel, but a pretty good back and forth against the 60-card Snake Eye Monstrosity. We didn't even see the Rescue Ace side of it, but it was there. Anyway, there's that first game. We still have a couple more to check out. Let's see the next one. For this next game, wow, excuse me, sorry about that. For this next game, we are up against Vaalmonica. Alright, so let's see. We're going first. And okay, we actually have a ton of options here because we opened Wraithsoft and Birth. We can actually do Kashira stuff and Sky Striker stuff. So I Wraithsoft for Fenrir because later in the turn I can simply activate Birth and then normal summon Fenrir. So this is a rare instance in which Kashira and Sky Striker stuff doesn't conflict. If I hadn't opened Birth and I had opened Engage and Wraithsoft with the Harpor, that's actually really interesting. I think I would have led with the Engage, because then even if Kagari would have been negated, I could still normal summon Harpor and go into plays. But here, again, we don't have to make the choice, because we opened Birth as well. So that actually ended up being pretty good for us. We do, of course, lead with Sky Striker stuff, because we need to have nothing in our main monster zone to use it. I guess you could lead with Kashira stuff and then link it off into like Galatea and then activate Mecha Hornet drones. That is always an option, to be fair. So like even if you do open Kashira plus Sky Striker stuff, the Sky Striker stuff can be used at a point like this, right? Where you only have the link 2 in the main, or the EMZ and nothing in the main zone. So there's always a timing for it. Well, there's usually a timing for it. Yeah, we use a Birth and then normal summon the Fenrir, which is nice. We'll have a Unicorn for some follow-up plays. We'll link off the Orcust Nightmare and the Mermaid for the Galatea. We'll then activate the Harpor. Summon Girsu. Girsu F will mill Symbol Skeleton. Galatea F, put back Harpor. We're going to set the Counter Trap. Now here I make a misplay. I linked off with Fenrir because I was like, oh, I can just bring it back, right? Wrong. Fenrir's Earth, and we are Dark Lock. So, and the Girsu's just going to sit here anyway, so there is really zero reason to link off the Fenrir, like, at all. But, look, to be fair, the Girsu won't sit here. We are about to link it off with this Orcust Nightmare in order to make the IP Masquerena. So I guess it was a matter of choosing to end on IP or on Fenrir. It would have been linked off either way. There's arguments for either, but... Okay, they're going to use the field spell to add Celtrice Vaalmonica. Angelo effects discard to try to set the pendulum scales. I'm definitely going to crescendo that. This will banish the Angelo and force them to have follow-up, like I said. So I chose to give them... Okay, so this spell card I think is interesting. The Celta. I'm just hoping that's how it's pronounced. So I chose to do the first effect, where they gain life points to place the cards from their hand on bottom of the deck and then draw 2. I just felt like... I don't know Vaalmonica spell and trap cards well enough to know what they can or can't do off of searching one here. So I was like, screw it. I'll just give them a draw 2 and hope they don't draw into anything. So they thankfully didn't, as you can see here. But I guess I could have clicked on related cards and just taken a look and read them. That's actually genuinely what I should have done. But we gambled and it paid off. So yay, gambling. All right. We got one more game. Let's finish off with that one. And our final duel is going to be against Ice Barrier. I haven't played Ice Barrier in some time. I might whip that out here sometime soon. Maybe. We shall see. Alright, we're taking the first turn. And we actually didn't really open plays of this hand. So I'm going to pass without even putting anything on the field because I have a Molchambi in my hand. So... they're going with Medallion of the Ice Barrier. Not going to Ash Blossom that because Medallion's not once per turn. It would be very easy for them to have another copy. So here they're going for the Revealer. And I want to use Fulos here because I want to try to draw some plays. I've got hand traps and I've got... Harpour can be an extender sometimes. But I really want something more proactive. I am going to Ash Blossom the Mirror Mage search. But they have the Freezing Chains, and they can bring it back. They did already summon the Georgius. Did they summon that off the Revealer? I feel like that was a little bit of a misplay. Discard Special Summon. Okay, they discarded their own Fulos. No, wait, I discarded Fulos, sorry. Yeah, they summoned Georgius. I feel like that was a little bit of a misplay, potentially. I feel like they should have summoned a Mirror Mage, right? Well, anyway. We have an Ice Jade Ran Adrenine in hand. Gonna use that in order to synchro into, what is this card called? Gamir Adrenine, of course, in addition to the Lancia. And finally, thankfully on that last synchro summon, we did get a engage here for some plays. This Imprint we top deck is going to be really helpful too. So what I'm going to do here is, first of all, I'm going to use Fulo so my field is empty, in case I do end up summoning something off of Lancia somehow. And I'm going to Imprint Lancia. I think my opponent misplayed by shotgunning Gamir Adrenine. You definitely want to get the banish effect on that effect there. But yeah, now they've used up all their interaction, or it's negated, so I'm just going to go for engage for the token for Kagari. Kagari add back the Hornet Drones to make another token. And that's the other cool thing about this line is that it doesn't use your normal summon, so that's why playing 3 Harpour is good in this deck, because Harpour just... That's why I mean when I say Harpour is kind of an extender in this deck, right? You either normal summon it after doing Sky Striker stuff and then you have plays, or you normal summon it after you do a Kashura and then you have plays. So notice that I'm not going for Nightmare Mermaid, I'm just going straight into Unicorn. Thanks to the Gamir Adrenine, I can't destroy or banish these cards, I have to put them back in the extra deck. So let's go for Nightmare Unicorn to be able to do that. And then in order to get the other big synchro off the field, what I'm going to do, excuse me, here in just a moment, after I set the Crescendo, yeah, I'm going to use the Nightmare Unicorn to go into Typhoon. Of course, I can't summon anymore, but Typhoon puts back Gamir Adrenine. I misplayed a little bit here. I should have used Call By before battling, because I can't use Call By during the damage step. Although, to be fair, they add a Revealer, and I can just Call By Banish Revealer and negate that anyway, so it's not a huge deal, but... this Feather Duster was really annoying. I did not want to have to use my Crescendo on it, but I will, of course, to protect my other cards. And then, yeah, they normal summon Revealer. Banish one Revealer to stop the discard, but they have their other, yeah, they have their both other Revealers in there. And their last card is Call By on Kagari. That's, of course, completely fine and irrelevant. I'm definitely not going to chain cross that here, because that would negate my Call By as well. And then they concede. So there we go. There is our final game with Sky Striker Orcust in 2025. 7 years after TOS format. And although the deck might not be nearly as powerful as it was back then, I still think it's quite good. So there we have it. There's our games. Thanks as always for watching. But for now, why don't we move on to our outro. Hey everybody, Hexlex here. Just want to give you a huge thanks for watching all the way to the very end of the video. Believe it or not, that is actually one of the best ways that you can support the channel, is by watching the videos in their entirety. But there are many ways in which you can support the channel if you are so interested. The names that you're seeing on screen here, I gotta give an extra special thanks to, because these are people who have chosen to either become a member on YouTube, which if you're interested you can do as well via the join button next to the subscribe button down there, or have signed up over on Patreon and become members there. Link to that is going to be in the description below. Without the support that is being offered by, again, all the people that you're seeing on screen right here, I would not be able to take the time to dedicate to uploading daily YouTube videos. So thank you so very much. But there are also other ways you can support as well. Again, link to the description below. If you like my deck tracker that you'll see in a lot of my videos, the Untapped Companion, you can download that for free, and if you use my affiliate link down there, then that also goes a long way towards supporting the channel. That's, again, free. So is subscribing here on YouTube. That's also free and a huge way to support. You can also check out Twitch, once again linked in the description below. Following and subscribing over there will not only support as well, but also give you notifications of when I go live if you want to catch some of the live streams. But really, no matter how you choose to support, it all adds up, and it all definitely means the world. So thank you, each and every one of you. For now, this is Hexlex. I'm going to be signing out. But more than that, I'm hoping that you have a fantastic day.